Hey, we are on part two of the wands, and also known as the rods. This is the part of the Fool's Journey series by the Third Eye of Providence where I'm dissecting the suits. So, we, in the last episode, reviewed the Ace of Rods and Wands through the 10, and now we're on the court cards. So we have, for review, the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Queen, and the King. Now, I do have a reason for laying them out like this in this order, because the Queen and the King energies go together. These are co-rulers of the wands, which is, of course, about the passions and the active side of our, personality and desires. And then I I paired the Page of Rods and the Knight of Rods because there is sort of a progression of these energies, because the Page is, let's say, the sproutling, and the knight would be the adventurer of these two energies. Regardless of the suit, this is kind of the way I am going to dissect the energies of these cards. So, we have A Complete Book of Tarot, Comprehensive Guide by Anthony Lewis here, helping us along while we figure out what is the order and purpose of the interpretation of and meaning of these cards. So, I want to point out something really important about the energies of the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings. The pages are closest to the earth, right? They are short. They're literally little. So I like to remind myself that this youthful person here is more connected to the earth. And so whenever I have a page energy, it's going to represent the earth, right? And what's so important to think about that is the earth is all about establishing the sensations of our surroundings, right? So this literal energy of what am I grounded to, what's happening around me, kind of stuff. But like the physical material sensation of it. And then we'll move into the night energy. And the night energy is going to be all about the impulse, the quick wit, the sort of like fiery, intuitive, hunch type of instinctual action to be taking. And this is typically why we'll see the knights on horses. The symbolism of this is to kind of like tap our intuition and make us recognize that this is a person who is moving swiftly. So this is a fire energy. And then we have the queen. Now the queen energy is about the feeling. This is about the wateriness, right? So queens are connected with water energy, regardless of the suit. This is about emotional intelligence when we see the queen. And then we see the king, and the king would be connected to the air energy. So air is all about the thinking, and you can see how this king is literally tapping his head with the wand. So again, this is the thinking, this is about mental planning, and this is what kings were known for. Traditionally, they were the masterminds of things, and even in the chessboard you see this happen the same way. So that is very important, to have a basic foundation of how to interpret court cards, and then apply that elemental logic with the fact that the rods or the wands are all connected with fire. So, why I'm pointing this out to you is because going forward, we're going to start thinking about the court cards in this way. We have earth and fire, right? We have fire and fire. We have water and fire. And then we have air and fire. Hopefully that helps you get a basic jump to when you see the court cards. So let's get into them. The Suit of Wands. Again, these are the fire elementals, and let's see what we have. So when we see the Page of Wands upright in a reading, it's going to signify a new situation, the beginning stages of a project or a journey. It can signify a messenger or messages coming to the person you're reading for. And when upright, the Page of Wands is a very youthful person who's full of surprises, who's ambitious to expand their horizons through travel, education, or involvement in an exciting adventure. A stranger or a foreigner can open your mind to new vistas. Life is an adventure, and this page wants to live it to the fullest. When it's in the reverse, this is somebody who's bringing bad news or the delay of a message that the person was expecting. This also can talk about how new projects are going to run into a snag or they're going to get trouble getting off of the ground. This might warn the person you're reading for against reckless or impulsive or overly ambitious behavior. A stranger may bring difficulties, is what this in reverse could represent. Again, we have earth and fire. Now, let's go into the Knight. Okay, so the Knight of Wands, this is a person who's departing for an adventure. Aha, fire action and fire desire, ambition. Fire, fire. So when the Knight of Wands appears upright, this is going to suggest action, movement, enterprise, and excitement coming into your life. When upright, the Knight of Wands advises you to get ready for an exciting ride as he adds spice to your life. Change is in the air. This knight loves to travel. He readily picks up his roots to move to a new location, so a change of a job or a residence is possible. The Knight of Wands is full of surprises, and you can expect the unexpected. In the reverse, when the Knight of Wands appears, this warns of travel difficulties or disharmony in relationships. This unpredictable energy can catch you off guard. He may suddenly change his mind and take off without warning on some half-baked adventure. Remaining responsibly committed to a relationship is not his strong suit. This knight may light fires that he cannot put out. Okay. Now let's go into the Queen. So, the Queen of Wands, we have water, fire. So cute. It says, this is a charismatic cat lady. All right. Now, water and fire. This card, of course, is representing a strong-willed person. The queens are mature and nurturing individuals. They are mother figures who are responsive to the emotional climate surrounding the person you're reading for. They represent mother figures, important women related to the current situation, and significant personality traits needed by the person you're reading for to navigate the matter at hand. When upright, the Queen of Wands is a gregarious, energetic woman who is strong-willed and gets things done. Despite her independent streak, she remains devoted to home and family. She loves being in the midst of activity, or preferably being at the center of it, and often has many irons in the fire. When the Queen of Wands appears in the reverse, this is going to be a bossy or overbearing person. She likes things done her way and doesn't tolerate much opposition to her will. Her excessive pride can result in cruelty and proneness to bearing a grudge. She tends to want what she wants when she wants it, and as a result, she may not respect the boundaries or responsibilities of a committed relationship. And then let's go into the Air and Fire card, which is the King of Wands. This is the Master of the Realm. So, it suggests that the upright in the reading, the King of Wands would represent a mature and accomplished individual who is in charge of the matters related to their suit and element. So the king, that would be fire. And air. They represent father figures, important men in the current's life, and significant personality traits needed by the person you're reading for to navigate this situation. When upright, the King of Wands usually represents a person of authority who is in a leadership role and has excellent managerial skills. He is likely to be a mover and shaker with entrepreneurial interest and abundance of enthusiasm. With his thoughtful leadership and fiery personality, he is good at directing other people to get things done. Now, when this gentleman appears in the reverse, this person comes across as rather domineering and egotistical. His excessive pride and arrogance often turn people off. His stern and intolerant opinions can cause difficulties for those who are in relationships with him. Religious versions of the reversed Wand King relish the words of the Bible. So wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands as unto the Lord. Interesting. So definitely a domineering energy. Not really a positive card to get in the reverse. Definitely has to do with authoritarianism and patriarchy. Okay, so let's get into the symbolism a little bit in these cards. So again, we have the Page of Wands, the Earth, and the Fire elements together. What's important to recognize about the page is how much... Well, we see, of course, the sun right here over his heart. And this, to me, is very much fire and earth energy, like we see in the sun. Now, I would also like to point out how he's wearing orange. This is the sacral chakra energy, and it's very creative. So this is a person who is inspired by the sun and has a creative passion. And clearly he wants to communicate. He's trying to express something. So this is about getting that off of the ground. Now, the Knight of Rods, again, we talked about the symbolism of the horse. This is the energy of quick action. And fire together, of course, is a very driving energy. So the symbolism here, really important to see. The knight riding the horse. And he's got this dragon on his helmet. I think is really important to point out that that's like the passionate of the dragon, I would say, is like I think we talked about this in the last episode, that the wands represent the yang energy, and that's definitely what we see in the dragons. Also this swift movement. Now, getting into the queen, the charismatic cat lady. This is the water and fire elements together. So what's really important to pay attention to is the symbolism here is she has the cat, of course, is her companion. She also has the lion here on her throne, and this is definitely important when it comes to the fire elements of these cards to remind yourself. She even has a fire in around her crown. So this is a woman, like they said, had many irons in the fire. She's passionate. She has a lot of different interests going on here. And then we have the air and fire, the king. The most important thing to pay attention to, of course, is how the wand is touching his head, touching the crown, literally, right? So he's thinking very calmly. He's like planning and trying to focus on what this passion, this desire is. He's trying to figure out the best course of action for everything to manifest this into the reality. In the background, again, we have the lion symbolism, and the sunset in the background is also really important to pay attention to. So it's positive energy for sure. It's just a very, out of all of these, I'd say this is the most pensive out of the fire cards that we've seen in the court so far. And that's just a quick breakdown for you guys. Feel free to leave a comment below if there's something really important about the symbolism in the cards or the connection of these energies. If there's something I missed that you want other people to benefit from the knowledge of, it's super appreciated. So make sure to leave the comment below. You can also hit the like button if you thought this was helpful. That's super appreciated as well. Hit the save to the playlist if you want to check out these content at your own pace. And if you're subscribed, you're going to get notification every time I post a new video. So stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to move on to the next suit. Thank you guys so much for your support.